channel. My name is Danica and I'm the Fit Mom Lifestyle on Instagram and Like to Know It. And today we're going to be talking about my Orangetheory experience. So I'm going to kind of get into 3 different topics. I'm going to be talking about my overall experience as well as the people and finally my results. So I've been going for 6 months so far. Like, I guess I'll just let you know I'm still a member, so maybe that hints at what I think about it. But yeah, I've been going for 6 months. I was gonna say 3 months, 6 months. And I will be talking about what I've learned and pros, cons, all the good things. So if you're curious to hear about my Orangetheory experience, then keep watching. Okay, so I have notes on my phone, so I'm gonna be referencing those. But the short answer is I love Orangetheory. Like I mentioned, I've been going for about 6 months. I started going in June of 2021, and it's obviously currently January 2022. And in December, well, let's see. So I switched my membership effective December. And if you want to change your membership, you have to do it like 2 months prior. So I think it was in October, I let them know I was going to drop down a tier from unlimited to 8 classes a week. I think it's like Elite, Premier, something like that. I don't know exactly the classifications. But basically, I dropped down to twice a week, essentially. And previously, I was going like 3 to 5 times a week. So I was going a lot. And I dropped down because I'm going to start training. I'm trying to talk too fast. I'm going to start training for a half marathon, or I am training, I guess, but I'm really going to like pick up my training. So that's in March of 2022. So I kind of needed to like scale back Orangetheory a little bit. So little background on Orangetheory if you're unfamiliar, at least at my current studio. So there's 2 different types of classes when it comes to like a standard Orangetheory class. You could either be in a 2G or a 3G class. So those are basically like 2 group or 3 group. And essentially the 2 group is like one group is on the treadmill and then the other group is split between the rowers and the weight room. Okay, so there's like 3 stations. There's treads, rowers, and weight room. And so that's like the 2G. The 3G is there's one group at each station. So when you have the 2G, you're at the treadmill and then the rowers / floor for about 20 minutes each. And then when you're in a 3G, you're in each for about like 14 minutes or so. So there's a warm up at the beginning of class and then like a cool down stretch at the end of class. So basically, I personally prefer the 2G because I like running and weights. I don't really love the rower personally. That's just me. So you get to decide, like, usually if you get there early enough, which group or which station you want to start at. And I usually like to start with the rower because I use that as my warm-up. Then I move to the weight room and, go through all the weights and the movements and then finish at the treadmill. So that's kind of like a standard class and like the 2 options that at least at our studio we have. Now, the goal, and again, I'm still new, so like if you're a coach or whatever, I'm doing the best I can to explain, but from my personal experience, this is what I have learned. So the objective in a standard Orangetheory class is to get 12 splat points. And so Orangetheory is based on like your heart rate. So you wear a heart rate monitor, and essentially there's like the gray zone, which is like resting, the blue zone, which is like you're getting, usually like that's kind of like the beginning of your warm-up. Then there's the green zone, then there's the orange zone, and then there's the red zone. So the zones are based on your heart rate. And so you want to try and get 12 splat points, which is essentially 12 minutes of your workout in either the orange or the red zones, meaning you're like burning the fat and like it will, they say like it will continue working over the next 48 hours or something like that. So that's kind of like the objective for a standard class. So anyway, that's like a background on Orangetheory if you're kind of unfamiliar, and like I said, that's my experience. The other thing is they have an app, and so you sign up for classes on the app, and you book your class if you miss your class. So if I think that if it's like the unlimited membership, it costs $12 for every missed class. And I think that if you have like the 8 class like I have, if you miss a class, then it just counts as like a class, like you went. So anyway, that's kind of like the standard setup from my experience. And I also wanted to mention that like when like my first couple of classes was super overwhelming, because they're like, okay, like get your splat points, like, all right, push pace, base pace, all out. And I was like, what are they saying? It's like another language. And then also what's super cool is like the music is blasting. It's like a club. It's so fun. And it was like really loud. I just didn't expect that. So the music is really loud. The coach is over a microphone really loud. So there's just like a lot going on. And so your first time it can kind of be like, what do I listen to? Or like, cause then they'll say like, okay, treads, okay, you know, whatever. And you're like, who, you know, you have to pay attention at the beginning. I mean, you still have to pay attention now to like hear your cues or whatever, but especially at the beginning, it's like, wait, what do I do? How do I, you know, so it can be a little overwhelming, but just stick with it. It gets better. I think like after 3 or 4 classes, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And so that's basically like kind of my experience so far, and like what, like a background on Orange Theory. I also, in the 6 months that I was there, I did plenty of like benchmark workouts. So there's like a 2,000 meter row, or like a 500 meter row, or a 1 mile run, or I think the other one is like, is it 10 minutes run for time, or 12 minutes run for time, or for distance. And they have like so many cool benchmark workouts. So it's really fun to like get your, you know, your score or whatever, and then just try and continue to improve. I also did 2 challenges. So I participated in Hell Week, which was 7 days long, and then you have to go to 5 of the 7 workouts. And then I did 12 days of Fitness, which is 12 days long, and you have to go to 8 of the workouts. So I did participate in those 2 challenges, and I loved them both. It was really fun. It was a good, like, it really tested me. It was difficult. I was very sore. And you kind of like, at least me personally, like I couldn't go all out every single class. Like I had to kind of like, okay, this class I'm gonna take it a little easy. Next class, you know, I'll really like, I don't know, I just had to give my body like a little bit of a break. So anyway, that's kind of the background / experience that I have had with Orange Theory. And just to give you a little like information, I wish I knew how many classes I've done. I was thinking about that this morning. I'm really curious, but just so you know, that's kind of like where I am, what I've done, and kind of like what I'm basing this information off of. Okay, so the next thing that I want to get into is the people. So I've gone to 3 studios during the 6 or so months that I've been a member at Orange Theory. One is the downtown LA location because it's right by my work, and I really liked that studio because it was very convenient. I could just quickly go over there after work, which was awesome. But there was less of like camaraderie in my opinion. Like I didn't really ever develop like friendships or relationships with the people there, and that's probably partially because I just didn't go a lot. But anyway, that was kind of my experience with that studio. And then I go to, well, I mainly go to like my home studio, but then I've also gone to another studio which is like maybe like 12-15 miles away by my parents' house. So that studio, this is like just totally personal preference, but I don't love the way that it's set up. So like I mentioned, you've got the weight room, the rowers, and the treadmill. And like the one that I go to, the studio that I go to, has like the treadmills along one wall, the rowers are along the other, and then the weight room in the back, which was also the way the downtown LA studio is set up. But this other studio was like a triangle. So it had like the treadmills along like the long side, and then it had rowers kind of like staggered, and then it had the weight room kind of like staggered. So it's just, I don't know, that was just totally a personal preference, but I just didn't like that studio. So that one's fine. I have family that goes there, they love it. That's not my favorite. So the studio that I do go to, I absolutely love the managers, the SAs, which are the people that work in the front, all of the coaches. I've worked with all of the coaches, and I just really love my studio. I love all the people. I love the members. Like, it's just, like I said, speaking of like camaraderie and everything, like people know each other there and people are cheering for each other, and it's like, oh, nice to see you. And actually wanted to show you this, because how cool is this? So as you know, it was just my birthday. I literally walked in today and they were like, hey, happy belated birthday. And I was like, what, what is this? Like, I mean, I've gotten like a lot of birthday emails and stuff, but to get a handwritten card, like, this is just so cool. And they literally like wrote in it, it's not just like whatever the standard thing is, and it just says, happy birthday, we love having you in our family, and we look forward to another year of sweats, splats, and personal records. Thanks for spending your day with us. We hope it was a great one. And then I often take, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, I'll put my handle here, but I take bathroom selfies, and it just kind of like so happened one time I was like, I'm gonna take a selfie and post this on my Instagram, and now it's like a thing. I always do that. So they put, PS, your daily bathroom selfies make our day. So anyway, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that personal touch really like makes you want to go back, and it's just really special. So anyway, I love all the people. They're all super knowledgeable, and it's been really great. So I even got my sister-in-law and my cousin to join. Like I mentioned, they go to a different studio because we don't live super close to each other, but they love it, and I think that the people are a very big part of what makes Orangetheory like so fun and addicting. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about are my results, and I'm sure this is what you are most curious about. So I actually broke this up into 2 parts because I think that there is an important like differentiation between the 2 aspects. And if you are an athlete or you work out often, you probably know what I mean. It's not always about the physical results. A lot of, at least for me, especially at this stage in my life, it's all about like the mental growth, the mental break, the mental development. It's a lot of like mental challenges for me. So I'm gonna focus on the mental stuff first. So like I mentioned, I think that I have really been able to push myself so hard with the coach's encouragement. I mean, if I just went to like the local gym and ran on the treadmill, I'd just be like, I'm tired, I'm done. These coaches are so amazing. They're like yelling, they're like, you got it, yes you can, push, give it your all. Like, they are so encouraging. It's the voice that you need to hear when you're like dying and you're like, I can't do this, I can't do this. And they're yelling like, yes you can, like push, come on, let's go. Like, it's so amazing. Like, you can't help but push yourself, So, it also, like, I mean, I don't know if you're into like positive self-talk or whatever, but it kind of like changes your perspective as well, because like I was mentioning, sometimes you're like dying, especially like, so there's, I should have gotten into this before, but there's like power day, strength day, endurance day, and then there's like a combination. So depending on like what the actual category of the workout is, the workout will be different. So like, for example, today I went and it was endurance, which means when you're on the treadmill, you never get a walking break. So for the I think it was 23 minutes today, we never got to walk. You're like increasing your speed and decreasing your speed, but you never walk. Whereas like then there was a strength day, which was like 10 30-second sprints or 10 1-minute sprints or whatever it is. And then power day, and maybe I'm getting strength and power confused, but like some of them are like hill workouts, and you're like, you continue to build, your the incline, and you're trying to keep your speed as consistent as possible. So anyway, point is, like, there's a ton of different workouts, and it gets very easy. Like for me personally, the sprints, I love. The sprints are easy for me mentally because I'm like, okay, 30 seconds or 1 minute, done. But when it's like a 3-minute incline at 8% and you're only 1 minute in and you're running on the treadmill and you're just like, oh, like I just want to walk. I'm so tired. I'm over this. I just want my Starbucks. Why am I here? Like all these things start going through your head, and then the coaches are like, okay, 1 minute down, 2 to go. Like, you've got this, keep pushing. Yes, you can. Like, a lot of these phrases are phrases that like I hear the coaches that I work with say often. And it's just like, it changes your perspective, because you're like, wait a second, yes I can, like I can do this, I'm strong, I can push, you know what I mean? So it helps too, just like, it really is like mental conditioning, because when you're struggling most and you're really wanting to quit, you hear the coach saying like, don't quit, keep going. And so I feel like it really, you know, just changes the way you think. And I think that that's super amazing. And like I said, I work way harder than I would if I were on my own at another gym. And then the last thing is, I feel so accomplished throughout the day. I mean, like today, it is currently just about 2 o'clock, and I did my Orangetheory workout, and I haven't really done much else like throughout the day. I've been at home pretty much working, and I've already done 8,966 steps and 4.9 miles. So I mean, just looking at that, like if I were at the office, I'd be walking around and I would totally hit 10,000 steps, no problem. And today I'll hit 10,000 steps. It's only 2 o'clock. But like that for me gives me so much satisfaction. Like, wow, like I hit my steps. Sometimes I hit my steps literally by like 11 a.m. and I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you're like, wow, I worked out really hard today. Like I did something good for my body. It just makes you feel so good throughout the day and so accomplished and proud. So in regards to results, like those are things that I've noticed when it comes to like the mental aspect of things. Now, let's get into the physical aspect. I have to come out and be totally honest and say, I have not seen a physical change in my body. However, I am someone who has done cardio for 16 years of my life. And in order for cardio to be effective for me, seriously, I have to run like 8+ miles. And it's just because as you do something over and over, like your body gets comfortable with it, with anything. Like your body, it doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't react the same way. So for me, cardio never really makes a big difference in my physical appearance. It just, it obviously like is good for my heart. Obviously like getting your heart rate into that zone and like doing like fluctuations with your heart is obviously super good for your body. But in regards to like, oh, I lost a pant size, or oh, like, you know, whatever, my biceps grew, like, no, that did not happen for me. And I have to be totally transparent and come out and say that. But again, like I said, it's not about the physical stuff for me. It's really mental. It's really about feeling good and doing something good for my body and taking care of my body. I also do want to mention, during Vlogmas, I took like 2.5 weeks off of Orangetheory, and I went back after taking time off. Oh my goodness, I struggled so hard that first day. So it also showed me like, though I may not have like physical changes, like, oh, I went down a pant size, or oh, like I went down a bra size, or oh, whatever it may be, my heart was very strong, or is very strong. My lungs are very strong. And like at 30 years old, like I just want to be able to be healthy for my son. Like I'm not trying to fit into a wedding dress anymore. Like that's just not my goal. If that's your goal and you have a similar background as I do as far as fitness, I don't know if it's going to work for you. All of our bodies are different. But I just want to be totally honest and say like, no, I've not noticed a change in like fat loss, but I've noticed a change in like my lung capacity, my heart. I have so much more endurance. So anyway, I wanted to mention that in regards to the physical changes. But that being said, I do want to say, like, personally, and I'm just looking at my notes, the classes that worked best for me, or the things that work best for me when it comes to changing my body, is CrossFit. My body responds really, really well to weightlifting. I toned up so much. I was probably the strongest I've ever been. No, I was definitely the strongest I've ever been when I did CrossFit for a year. I like to bounce around and do different things. So in 2020, I did CrossFit like 5 to 6 days a week for a year. And that was my body at its strongest point, hands down. However, I really couldn't run very fast. Whereas now I can throw down like a 6:30 mile. So it's like, you know, there's different goals, right? So anyway, the other program that really worked for me, and I don't even know if this still exists, but when I was prepping for my wedding, I did Kelsey Wells, which was on the Sweat app with Kayla Tsines. I did Kelsey Wells Power Program. I think it was like 8 weeks or 16 weeks, or maybe I did like the part 1 and the part 2 leading up to my wedding, and I was very, very fit. I was toned. I wasn't like, and not that CrossFit made me bulky, but CrossFit definitely made me like bigger. It changed my like dimensions. But when I was getting ready for my wedding, Kelsey Wells, because it incorporates some HIIT, and you do some like cardio as well. It incorporates some HIIT, but it also is like lots of weightlifting. And for my body personally, we just lost a light. That works best for me. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up because my light like overheated. So we have one light still, but I'm sorry if it got darker. It definitely got darker, but I don't know, that's never happened. It's like super hot on the USB, so that's kind of crazy. But let's wrap it up. I was finishing up anyway. So final thoughts when it comes to Orangetheory. I love it. I am marathon training, but I am going to continue going to Orangetheory, and this was something I wanted to mention in the last portion. My studio just added a 45-minute weightlifting class. I've gone twice. I love it. I love it. Now, like I said, I love lifting weights. I see the most changes when I lift weights. So I imagine now that I'm incorporating that into my workout routine, I will see better or like more physical results when it comes to incorporating some type of lifting. You do lift in the regular Orangetheory class, but it's just not enough for my body. I need to lift more often and for a longer period of time to see results personally for me. So that I'm going to probably do as I am prepping for my marathon, or half marathon. As I'm prepping for my half marathon, I'll probably do one traditional Orangetheory class a week and one weightlifting class a week. I did weightlifting yesterday, and like my back and my butt and my quads, like I am feeling it. My abs, I'm feeling it today. So for whatever reason, weightlifting works for my body, and I'm excited that my studio has that, and I'm going to keep going to that 100%. I love it. So anyway, I think it's such a great workout. You feel so accomplished. It's probably one of the hardest workouts I've ever done. It's so fun. The music is awesome. The coaches are great. It is definitely addicting. It's easy to commit because when you know, like obviously you have to get yourself there, but once you're there, it's like a party. Like it's fun. And you can walk. Like you don't have to run on the treadmill. You can walk. You can scale the lifting. Like I always said, like if I were pregnant or if I get pregnant again, I plan to stay at Orangetheory and just kind of like scale everything, because you totally can. And so that's kind of good to know if you are pregnant or postpartum or whatever. Like you can totally tailor everything, which is super awesome. And I highly recommend it if you are someone who needs accountability and you need a coach, but you don't want to pay for like a personal trainer or something. Like I just think it's the best thing that you're gonna get in like a group type of fitness class. I've done a lot of group fitness classes, and I think this is the best group fitness class studio I've ever been a part of. So I highly recommend Orangetheory. I think you'll love it. If you have any other questions, message me on Instagram or comment them down below. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as I share tons of fitness things, lifestyle, mom type things, Lululemon, activewear, everything like that. So if you love it, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.